Hey folks, David Thomas Tao. I'm here at the VinePair office in beautiful Manhattan, New York, and today I'm looking at a new release from Jim Beam. It's the latest in their Hardin's Creek line, and this is the Kentucky series where we actually get to taste 3 different 17-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskeys aged in 3 different locations. Today we'll be looking at the Kentucky series Boston release. This is a 17-year-old whiskey aged at their Boston aging facility. They also have releases earlier in 2023 from their Claremont aging facility and the Frankfurt aging facility. I'm actually really excited about this one because I've accidentally driven through the Boston aging campus a couple of times in the back roads of central Kentucky. We don't need to go into why, so we're gonna take a look at this. Like the other 2 in the Kentucky series, this is bottled at 110 proof, 17-year-old whiskey, latest from Hardin's Creek, which is their kind of like experimental, rare, interesting line that Jim Beam's been rolling out. Let's dive on in. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to VinePair on YouTube on whichever device you're watching this on. It could be an Android, an iPhone, an Abacus. Now, if you want my full thoughts on this, including full tasting notes, availability, all that good stuff, make sure you click on the link in the description below. That is my full review. You can keep watching this video though. I mean, I'm still gonna talk about the whiskey. So like the 2 previous releases in the Kentucky series, this is gonna come out to about $169.99 retail. This is a pretty limited release and they have not disclosed exactly how much of it they're releasing, but that is the MSRP. Expect to pay at least that. I wouldn't be surprised to see this sitting at or above $200 on certain retail shelves, especially here in New York. To be fair though, this is a new series. It's not something that people are really chasing super heavily or necessarily anticipating. So yeah, 170 bucks, that's what it'll cost you. So again, my full review at the link in the description below is where you wanna go to learn everything about this whiskey. But you know what, let's open it up and taste it again. It comes with this like fancy leather strap and one of the heavier corks in American whiskey. Again, 17 years old, 110 proof, so not quite cask strength, but still some kick. It's interesting, Beam gives info on the label about their Boston aging facility, elevation, hours of direct sunlight per day, all that sort of stuff, because the whole point of the Kentucky series is to compare aging environments. It's the same mash bill, the same whiskey, the same age, just aged in different places. And on the Boston campus, there is a lot of oak on this. Again, 17 years, Beam is known for getting pretty oaky once you get up over 12 years. An oak bomb, but it doesn't smell off-puttingly tannic on the nose. It's like a really boring note. Definitely some nuts. You get that like Beam nuttiness. Some people say it's peanuts. I think it's kind of hazelnuts. I get a little chocolate here as well. So hazelnut and chocolate, that smells a little bit like a certain confectionery spread. I won't name brand names. A bit of barbecue. It smells like a very low proof Booker's bourbon at a much higher age statement. This is about 10 years older than any Booker's bourbon you're gonna find today. There's not like a ton of fruit, maybe a little bit of fig. Okay, I do get peanut on the very end. This is a little bit like smelling like peanut butter fudge, which is actually quite delicious if you've ever had peanut butter fudge. Now let's dive in. If you are someone who likes tasting oaky, nutty, older Jim Beam whiskey, you're gonna really like this release. This is an oak bomb with nuts on the back end. It's got a thick, borderline syrupy mouthfeel. Oh my God, peanut butter just keeps coming through. On the finish, peanut butter fudge, little fruit, maybe a little strawberry jam at the end. The oak is strong with this one, but you know what? The mouthfeel balances that out. It's almost a little buttery. The peanut notes, the nutty notes, they almost actually balance out the oak. There's almost like a fatty component to balance out like the astringency of all that oak influence after 17 years in the barrel. This doesn't have the most finesse of a well-aged Jim Beam product, but what it does really well. Oak and nuts, neither are off-putting, in a nice balance. Yeah, again, peanut butter fudge is what I get off this. Nutella, I might not be able to say that. I might not be allowed to say that. Shh. There's a little bit of a savory note here, a little bit of like a barbecue or mesquite, toasted grains, toasted oats. Yeah, if you like well-aged Jim Beam, if you like chocolate and oak and peanut butter, honestly, if you just like peanut butter, this bourbon is the closest experience to drinking aged, liquefied peanut butter I've had in a long time. And honestly, it's pretty dang pleasant. All right, let's talk score. Overall, I gave Hardin's Creek Kentucky Series Boston, that is a mouthful to say, I gave this 92 points out of 100. It's a really good whiskey. It's not a perfectly balanced whiskey. The oak, the nuts, the age is well expressed. I think it's proof just about right. It's a lot of positive. Why am I not going higher on the score? 92, by the way, not a bad score at all. This is a delicious whiskey. It doesn't have a balance to it on the palate that's going to please everyone, right? This is a whiskey that the die-hard Jim Beam fan is really going to enjoy. It doesn't kind of have the depth of character or the breadth of character that I think a lot of people would be expecting from a whiskey that's getting to that 95, 96 point range. And that's why I think 92 is very fair. I'm sticking to it. Hardin's Creek, Kentucky Series, Boston, the last of the Kentucky Series line. Really enjoyed this, but again, it is doubling down on two things Beam does really well: oak and nuttiness. I want to hear what you think. Let me know if you've enjoyed any particular expressions in the Hardin's Creek line. It could be this, it could be a previous release. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you agree with my score. If you get the chance to taste this, I'll make sure to respond in the comments. Until then, I'm Thomas Tao. Thank you for watching.